So yes, it's totally possible to get an unlimited amount of organic frigates to spawn and add them into your fleet. We will go over everything you need to know about that in this video, as well as a big disclaimer because this is going to be a very costly endeavor past the initial free one that you get at the start of this new update. We're also going to talk about a brand new patch that will drop in very soon, so let's begin. Now, for those who did not know this yet, you can get your first free organic frigate by simply completing a current expedition, and there's a chance for them to drop one of these brand new blueprints called a Dream Aerial. Of course, if you finish the Leviathan expedition, as I've explained in previous videos, that can pretty much be guaranteed if you send the Leviathan organic frigate instead. Otherwise, your chances will be rather low from my experience. From this point on, if you follow the normal route, you're going to be able to create one of these Dream Aerials, and the moment you start pulsing around with your ship, you will notice that it guarantees spawns one of these frigates right here. The dialogue options don't really matter. At the end of it, you will get that free one, but we kinda got stuck at the next phase, which is getting subsequent ones after the initial one. So no, the spawn rate isn't bugged, it doesn't have any internal cooldowns. Instead, we were just doing it all wrong up until this point. So the reason for that is because we also need one of these babies right here called the anomaly detector, which is going to make them spawn in the first place. And for good measure, I also suggest maybe keeping the Dream Aerial in your inventory just in case. I did not delete mine. If you did, go ahead and just recraft it again. One of them is enough for this method to work because we're going to rely on the anomaly detectors, which will spawn anomalies when we pulse into deep space. On the same note, if you do want to farm for these, all you have to do is to just head over to any nearby asteroid field and start destroying asteroids, as they have a pretty decent chance of dropping at least one of these detectors. I heavily encourage you to also have some phase beams installed in your ship and just press that button multiple times so it doesn't overcharge and you can destroy the asteroids really quickly, and lo and behold, one of them eventually should drop. Once you have acquired at least a few of these detectors, it's time to start farming. So simply activate one and then start pulsing into deep space. From this point on, the game will start detecting guaranteed rare object encounters, but I want you to completely ignore them for now and just let your ship sail. You will notice one appearing every like 10 to 15 seconds. Completely ignore anything that says rare objects and instead just wait until you see this one pop up right here called the Cosmic Megafauna. This is the one we're looking for. This is the one that spawns the organic frigates, and this is basically what we're going to be doing from this point on to fully fill our fleet with these organic frigates. From this point on, it's just the usual, interact with the frigate, see if you like the stats and the class, and you can go ahead and accept it into your fleet. But also pay attention to the cost, because it can be extremely steep. And I'm not even kidding, even a measly C class in this case can cost 200 million units, and it can go all the way up to 1 billion for a max rank one. So be ready with a lot of money at hand. Not really sure if this is intended or maybe just a bug. Totally let me know down below if you think these prices are way too high, because personally I think that they should probably be at least slashed in half, as this is quite costly even for somebody like me who pretty much has unlimited resources. Another big recommendation that I have is to exclusively farm for these frigates in high quality wealthy systems. So anything that is tier 3 of wealth, like booming or opulent, these won't really guarantee that you get a max rank one, but will increase the chances for them to spawn. And usually if you do get them to spawn with a higher rank, you will also see other ones subsequently spawning with a higher rank. Again, they will have a much higher cost, but at least you don't have to waste any time going in and upgrading them the normal way by sending them into lots of encounters. So here's basically my fleet right now. For the most part, I got C1s as they are a bit cheaper and I can just send them into expeditions to eventually level up, but it's quite a nice size to have many of these present into the battlefield. Haven't yet tested them into combat to see if they react in any way, but they look pretty awesome, and they are also quite different from one another, at least in terms of some of the features, as there is procedural generation for that too, and for the colors as well. here's my frigate list for some more proof if you want to see some of that. Obviously, the majority of them that I got were C-class, as these were the ones that I was able to afford, and from this point on, I will just upgrade them the normal way by sending them into expeditions. I also got a few B and A ones, but no max rank yet, though I'm not too concerned because I really don't want to like spend $1 billion on them, at least until we have confirmation this is like the way it is intended to be. And at the same time, I recommend you to at least clear out a few spaces, especially if you're close to 30 out of 30 frigates into your fleet. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to recruit any new ones. It did happen for me on a couple of occasions, so before you proceed doing any of this, just clear out at least like a few spaces, just delete some of your C classes and make some room for these organic frigates instead. But yeah, we also have a brand new update dropping really soon, so it's already available on the experimental branch. Essentially, it does bring a bunch of changes, especially for those who kind of got a few problems with the new organic frigates. One of them is the fact that you can finally claim that Leviathan in case you had the bug that prevented that from ever spawning in your inventory, so you can finally add it in your fleet. At least that was fixed for me on this experimental branch. There's also a few other quality of life changes in here. For example, for these plant rooms added for the freighter bases, now the collection screen, or should I say button, is on the ground level on the floor, making it much easier to spot and also much easier to collect all of the plants at the same time. It also seems to persist way better than how it was previously when it was on the ceiling instead, so you're not gonna miss it anymore unless there's something blocking that screen. At the same time, let's also talk about another nice change. One of them is the fact that now automatic doors are automatically added to everybody's inventory if they have a freighter. Previously, if you did not have this unlocked and accidentally were in a room and deleted all of its former doors, you weren't able to get out of it and you were pretty much stuck in there unless you reloaded the game. So now Hello Games has made the doors pretty much a default for everybody without needing to unlock them. And finally, another cool attention to detail is the fact that there's now scaffolding added to some of these base parts so that they don't appear as if they completely float into the air. Not for all of them, mostly for the exterior parts, but it's a nice addition to have. There's still some issues with them, but it looks pretty awesome. Anyway, this is pretty much it with the new update. Totally let me know down below, did you use this method? Did you know about it? And if so, how many of these organic frigates are you going to get, assuming that you still have the funds for that? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.